Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. At UFC Vegas 36 in the main event, Derek Brunson got a massive win over Darren Till. He won the fight via third round submission, rear naked choke, and people are already wondering who is the UFC going to match Derek Brunson up with next. And I have an answer for you for that. If you're wondering who Darren Till should fight next, I already made a video on that. I'll put the link in the description as well as I'll put it on the end card. So if you guys want to go check that out after this video, you can. And guys, do me a favor, if you enjoy these videos, make sure to like the video. I really appreciate it. So Derek Brunson wins the fight dominantly, third round, rear naked choke, won every single round of the fight, and he calls out Israel Adesanya. And I'm going to answer whether or not I think he deserves a middleweight title shot. And we'll get to that in a second. But something has to be said for Derek Brunson. What a career resurgence. In 2018, he was on a two-fight losing streak. He got finished in back-to-back fights against Jacare Souza and then Israel Adesanya, obviously, before he was champion. And a lot of people had kind of wrote him off. And then he goes on to beat Elias Theodoro. He goes on to beat Ian Heinisch, Edmen Shahbazyan, Kevin Holland, and now Darren Till in the most recent fights. And what I feel like a lot of people don't say or just choose to ignore for whatever reason, these last three fights against Edmen Shahbazyan, Kevin Holland, and now Darren Till were supposed to be the stepping stone for Derek Brunson's opponent. Edmen Shahbazyan was supposed to go in there and beat Derek Brunson and move on to bigger and better things. The UFC was building him as the next middleweight star. Same with Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland was on a nice win streak. He was supposed to go in there, beat Derek Brunson, and go on to bigger and better things in the middleweight division. And then Darren Till, if Darren Till would have beat Derek Brunson at UFC Vegas 36, Darren Till would have definitely got the next title shot after Israel Adesanya versus Robert Whittaker 2 would have happened. There's no doubt about it. With Darren Till's star power, if he would have got a decent win over a top-ranked opponent in Derek Brunson, he would have got the next title shot. So Derek Brunson was being fed these contenders, but really the UFC was thinking, okay, we can build these contenders' names off of Derek Brunson, considering he's been around forever. He's a top-ranked guy. And Derek Brunson just sent them all back to out of the top 10, in my opinion. And, you know, his performance against Darren Till, I expected that. I wish he would have shown a little bit more improvement in the stand-up. But you can't deny the guy is on a 5-fight win streak. So if you look through the UFC rankings and you try to determine, you know, who should Derek Brunson fight next? Israel Adesanya is currently fighting Robert Whittaker, who's ranked number 1. So obviously that's not going to happen right now, at least. But he said he would wait for a title shot, and I'll get to that in a second. Number 2, Paulo Costa is fighting number 4, Marvin Vettori. Number 3, Jared Cannonier is available. He just beat Kelvin Gastelum in a controversy decision. So that is kind of open. Jack Hermansson's available at number 6. I don't know if that's really going to happen. And obviously then Darren Till. And basically everyone else is really booked up. None of those other fights really make sense other than some of the names I just mentioned. So what I think should probably happen, and I get that Derek Brunson, you know, if you look at the middleweight division and you exclude Robert Whittaker because he's already fighting for the belt next, and you say, who deserves the next middleweight title shot, after Adesanya versus Whittaker, there is one clear-cut answer, and there's only one answer. And that's Derek Brunson. And he did call out Israel Adesanya. That would be a rematch of their previous fight. But that's, not the circumstances. Whittaker and Adesanya have yet to fight. They're probably not fighting till the beginning of next year. But Brunson did say he would sit out and wait. But I don't think really that's a smart plan. And I don't think that's what the UFC is going to want. It may happen, but I don't think it's going to happen. So what makes the most sense other than an Israel Adesanya title shot right now? And the answer, and there's only one answer, and that's Jared Cannonier. Jared Cannonier is coming off a big win over Kelvin Gastelum, even though it was controversial. And Jared Cannonier is the only other guy in the division right now that's viable for a title shot against Israel Adesanya. I mean, if Whittaker loses, obviously he's lost twice to Adesanya. Paulo Costa hasn't even fought since he lost to Adesanya. Marvin Vettori already has 2 losses to Adesanya. Derek Brunson, obviously we're talking about him now. Jack Hermansson isn't even close to a title shot. Darren Till just lost and is, 1-2 in the middleweight division and has only won 1 out of his last 5. Sean Strickland's fighting Luke Rockhold. Kelvin Gastelum's on a losing streak. So it comes down to Jared Cannonier or Derek Brunson next in line for a title shot anyway. So why not match those 2 guys up? And I think that'd be a great fight. I mean, Derek Brunson with his strong wrestling against Jared Cannonier, who has good striking, very heavy power, great leg kicks. I think that makes a great matchup. And the winner of that fight could fight Adesanya or Whittaker, the winner of that fight, which will happen in early 2022. And the timeline really makes sense because Derek Brunson, even if he doesn't want to fight Cannonier till early of 2022, a win there would still put him in line to fight Adesanya after Adesanya fights Whittaker if he does in fact win. And so I love that fight. I think that's what the UFC tries to make happen. But before I end this video, I want to talk about Derek Brunson and his claim to a title shot because, again, if Whittaker is not there, Derek Brunson is the open and shut case for the title shot right now. But I kind of want to, even though I say that, I want to talk about Derek Brunson's resume a little bit. I know I've talked about he's fought anybody and everybody, but I just want to look at his 5-fight win streak. Eliza Theodorou, no longer in the UFC. Ian Heinisch, I don't even think he's in the top 15. Edmen Shahbazyan, he's not even in the top 10. Kevin Holland, same thing. And Darren Till's in the top 10, but I don't know if he necessarily belonged there, considering he has one win at middleweight, and it was a split decision against Kelvin Gastelum back in 2019. So even though I say Derek Brunson is the guy who's most deserving, this 5-fight win streak leaves a lot to be desired, and I know the last 3 wins have been very impressive, particularly the Shahbazyan and Till victories, both winning by finish. But at the same time, you look through the rankings right now, and he's not fought Robert Whittaker, he's not fought Paulo Costa, he's not fought Jared Cannonier, not fought Marvin Vettori, not fought Jack Hermansson. He's not fought at any of those top 5 guys. So even though it's a 5-fight win streak, it's not the greatest 5-fight win streak. And I know I'm nitpicking here, but even though I think Derek Brunson is the open and shut case if Whittaker's not there, I just kind of wanted to put that out there that the win streak isn't all that great against the greatest opponents, but it's still impressive. But I think the reason I'm even getting to that is I think the win over Jared Cannonier, if he's able to get it in a fight against Jared Cannonier, I think that just puts the cherry on the top, and Derek Brunson unequivocally deserves that rematch with Israel Adesanya or Robert Whittaker if he's the champion. Obviously, that fight is still yet to happen. But I just think a win over Jared Cannonier puts the cherry on the top. He can go fight whoever has the belt. And the same for Cannonier. Cannonier's only on a 1-fight win streak right now. He lost to Robert Whittaker last year. He just got a win over Kelvin Gastelum, controversial split decision. So I really believe Jared Cannonier needs another win or 2 before he should be next in line for a title shot. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Don't forget to like the video. I appreciate it very much. Thanks for supporting the channel, and I will see you in the next video.